Hacienda HealthCare closing unit where patient was raped, gave birth. State doesn't content producer. Phoenix 3 TV/CBS 5 The nursing facility where a patient was raped and became pregnant in Phoenix is shutting down the intermediate care unit of their building, A. Hacienda HealthCare released a letter to their employees Thursday saying in part, after the Arizona Department of Economic Security, the state agency that ordered Hacienda HealthCare to hire a third-party manager, is not on board with their decision to shut down the ICF unit. This is very disturbing news. We encourage Hacienda to work with the state to find a path forward. State Agencies, Special Section. The ICF is where the victim in the rape case, which was first made public by Arizona's family in January, was being treated. Phoenix police have original story. There are at least 36 patients currently in the ICF, said a spokesman with Hacienda HealthCare. Earlier this week, Government Doug Ducey called related. Hacienda HealthCare released the following statement Thursday about the closure.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.